Arnott Air Suspension Products. Mercedes installation. Removal. Step 1. Disconnecting the battery. To avoid the possibility of short circuits while working with electric components, consult your owner's manual on how to disconnect your battery. Always wear safety glasses when doing automotive maintenance. Removal. Step 2. Wheel removal. Once the vehicle is raised, start by removing the wheel's lug nuts. Once the lug nuts are removed, carefully take off the wheel. Removal. Step 3. Removing the air shock connector. In the rear window area, remove the side cover of the hat rack to expose the top of the air shock. Then, disconnect the airline and the 3 mounting nuts from the top of the air shock. Removal. Step 4. Removing the rear brake caliper. Remove the rubber boot and disconnect the electrical connector leading to the shock damper solenoid. Then, remove the retaining clip. Next, loosen the 2 bolts on the back side of the caliper. Then, secure the caliper. When you are working on the right side of the vehicle, there is an extra step when you remove the retaining clip. Disconnect the sensor connector and remove the sensor bracket. Then proceed as normal. Removal. Step 5. Disassembling the suspension arm. Start by removing the bolt from the sway bar end link. Then, disconnect the sway bar end link. Remove the outer lower control arm bolt. Then remove the control arm bolt attached to the bottom of the shock. Removal. Step 6. Removing the shock assembly. Once the bolts are removed, the control arm will then swing down. Finally, remove the shock assembly from the car. Install. Step 1. Preparing the Arnott shock for installation. Remove the 3 nuts on the top mount of the shock assembly. Step 2. Installing the new shock. Install the new shock into the top mounting holes. Next, connect the shock assembly to the lower control arm. Install. Step 3. Assembling the lower control arm. Tighten the top 3 nuts to the manufacturer's specifications. Reconnect the airline. Reinstall the hat rack side cover. Next, connect the lower control arm. It may be necessary to use a jack under the control arm to install this bolt and nut. Finally, reconnect the sway bar end link. Install. Step 4. Reconnecting the rear brake caliper. Reinstall the rear brake caliper. Once the caliper is installed, tighten the 2 bolts on the back side of the caliper. Reinstall the retaining clip. Lead the electrical connector through the wire guide clips to reinstall the rubber boot. When you are working on the right side of the car, there is an extra step after you replace the retaining clip. Reinstall the sensor connector and the sensor bracket bolt. Then proceed as normal. Install. Step 5. Finishing the install. Install the rear tire and tighten the lug nuts to the manufacturer's specifications. Install. Step 6. Reconnecting the battery. To avoid the possibility of short circuits while working with electric components, consult your owner's manual on how to reconnect your battery. Install. Step 7. Testing function. Lower the lifting platform slowly. Start the engine and wait 2 minutes. Then operate the raising function of the car's electronics. Finally, check the shock for leaks by test driving the vehicle. Installation completed. Congratulations!